winner Parker McLaughlin. Absolutely perfect conditions as we take a look at the iconic and signature clubhouse here at the Los Angeles Country Club, which will really indeed be a challenge. Shot making and very long, but no trouble at all for Cal's Max Homa, who came out of the gates and set a course record. The California Golden Bears and their record setter, Max Homa, carry the momentum into the final day of this year's Pac12 Golf Championships. Yet with both team and individual titles still up for grabs, the pressure to perform is on. As a talented field is filled with players still in the hunt, as each golfer takes aim on the conference crown. Who will emerge victorious? We have you covered tee to green and title to trophy. The Pac-12 Conference Championships continue right now at the historic Los Angeles Country Club, only on the Pac-12 networks. These are the 4 holes that we'll be focusing our coverage on. And when you look at the yardages, those are the yards from right at the back of the tee box, and they will be adjusted throughout the course of the tournament, this being the 3rd day, but the 4th round. These two teams, or all of these teams, played 36 holes on the opening day, and you can see with some real difficulty. This is a long and challenging golf course, and Michael Kim, certainly one of the stars in the country for the California Golden Bears. He is the #1 player on the #1 college team in the nation.
Yeah, really a sensational golfer. He's had quite the year. Hasn't finished outside the top 11 of the entire year as an individual.
We talked about the yardages being adjusted at the back. This is a 133-yard par 3, but it is not so on the final round.
Only 82 yards today, Paul, and Michael hits a really nice shot there, pin high. It's going to be a really quick putt, but nicely done in judging the distance.
What about the course conditions, the firmness of the greens, as Pedro Figueiredo from UCLA steps up? Again, this very, very tricky tee shot.
Yeah, the greens are really firm this week, really quick as well. It's really challenging for these players, especially coming out of the rough. This shot shouldn't be too much of an issue.
Boy, that is a bad miss.
Although right there, that's going to be really, really challenging to get up and down for his par. Not what you want with an 82-yard shot. You're thinking birdie when you stand on this tee. Although they've only got 8 yards to play with up there as far as a landing zone. So it's a really great pin placement for a short hole.
Figueiredo was 6 over through the first 3 rounds in our first look at the Washington Huskies. Chen Sung Pan.
Yeah, really a highly recruited junior golfer. Came to Washington, has had a really nice career so far, and really good solid golf swing here.
From Taiwan, just a sophomore.
Beautiful shot. Hoping for that one to spin back a little. Here it comes. You can tell that the severity of these greens, that ball didn't really have a ton of spin, and yet it came back about 6 feet, and then I was going to have a really quick downhill putt.
And there's the current leaderboard through, you see the final groups. Homa at 9 under, again on the strength of that opening round, 61. Weaver from California, so 2 Bears on top. Jonathan Garrick of UCLA at 2 under in our first look. Arizona State, a solid program going back to the heritage and tradition established by Phil Mickelson, and a good tournament by Max Rotluff at just +1.
Yeah, Tim Mickelson's got a nice freshman here, Max, and he's going to really enjoy having him around for the next 3 years.
And you see that triple bogey 7 on number 16, a real problem. Shot a 67 in the first round and back to Figueiredo on 15.
Boy, this is a really, really challenging bunker shot. No green to work with downhill. Not a bad shot. Didn't really have many options there, but he'll have about a 15-footer up the hill to save his par.
Some specifics on the LACC, one of the great courses among hundreds in Southern California. 7,236 yards. Opened back in 1911, and like so many great courses, has gone through several reconstructions and redesigns, particularly around the greens. Former President Ronald Reagan, sportscaster Keith Jackson, and the one and only Fred Couples among the very notable members. Rotluff once again. This is a 498-yard dogleg left finishing hole number 18.
Great finishing hole. One of the toughest holes you'll find anywhere. Uphill, long, most of the time into the wind. And these players are going to have a lot of a challenge finishing this round off and this tournament off.
Back to Figueiredo. This will be a putt for par, about 15 feet up the hill, breaking pretty quickly around the hole. to the right.
Yeah, you never, on an 82-yard hole, you never really want a 15-footer for par.
Just missing that on the low side, so Figueredo with the bogey will move on to the par 4 16th. There is a lot of length on this golf course, as you saw, 7,200 plus yards, but is that really a challenge? This course playing pretty fast and firm.
The course is playing really fast and firm. You know, they've done a really nice job of drying things out, so it's gonna play shorter than the yardage.
Here is John Rahm for birdie on 18, very difficult finishing hole. We've got to do a better job with our crowd control. Everybody wants to get pretty close, and this putt is going to be close. Perfect line and distance. We'll move some of those folks back as our coverage continues on, but a real bright spot for John Rahm. However, that would get into a final round of 74 as he does birdie 18, but you can see 3 straight bogeys coming in. The difficulty of 15, 16, and 17, another bogey on the very short par 3, and Pond looking for a birdie here from about 8 feet.
Watch how quick this putt is. Wow, what a great effort there.
So Pan for birdie, and California continues to roll. Par 70 once again. He would like to be much lower, obviously, as far as his grand total is concerned, but the number 1 ranked California Golden Bears still feeding off the great start by Max Homa on top of the tournament.
You hear that? That's the
Final round of the Pac12 championships. Men's golf continues on. A look once again at the leaderboard. After 36 holes on day 1, Cal led by 9 strokes, and then UCLA, after 54 holes, cut way into that. The lead was down to 2, and here is that outstanding freshman, once again, Max Rotloff from Arizona State. You can see, we showed you the wind 10 miles an hour, maybe picking up just a little bit, but very good conditions.
Yeah, this is a difficult shot coming in here on 18, and he'll be happy to find the green. I'm sure he wanted to be a little bit closer, but not a bad shot.
Our first look at one of the members of the Stanford Cardinal. This is Cameron Wilson for his second on 18. Stanford historically a very good program, but now the Pac-12 is so strong with the emergence of a team like the University of Washington. When you were at UCLA, who was your biggest rival? Look at this shot, however.
Yeah, fantastic.
We got to move the crowd. This is all too good.
We do need to get somebody down there controlling this crowd so we can see these great shots these young players are playing into this 18th hole.
Here is Figueredo again, coming off that bogey on number 15, and now what kind of trouble? Looks like a little bit of a side hill, downhill lie.
Yeah, he's looking at a mid iron here into the 16th hole, and you know, this hole's played tough all week. It's played over par, so he'd be happy to move on with a par here.
Boy, it took a big cut at that. You can't hear the wind picking up just a little bit. Maybe the strongest we've had throughout the tournament.
Nice looking golf shot there.
He'll certainly have a look at that, but a downhill putt. The greens at LA Country Club, very difficult, and they are certainly. What do you think they're rolling at for this tournament?
They're rolling at least 13. I think at the start of the week they were rolling around 12.
There's Brandon Hagee, also from California. He's at a 68 in the opening round. Again, a look at this is number 15, very short par 3.
He caught it just a half a groove thin there. Got away with it. You can see how fast these greens are as that ball trickles away.
Almost a little bit lucky though on the miss. He'll be putting back uphill.
Absolutely. This golf course is a second shot golf course, and what I mean is you really need to position yourself on the correct side of the hole so you can have birdie putts uphill.
Second shot at 16 for Kim.
Nice golf swing. This kid has really done something special this year.
Would he be disappointed with the way he has played so far in this tournament? Obviously not disappointed with that shot. 1 over in the opening round, 3 over to close out the opening 36-hole day, and then shot a 72 in round 3. That's not up to his standards.
I think absolutely he'd be disappointed. You know, his worst finish is 11th this year, so if he's not in the top 5, he's not happy.
On this Windegren from UCLA, again on the 15th.
Beautiful shot there. That's going to leave him a nice look at birdie on this hole.
How would you approach a hole that's only 80-some yards?
It really comes down to getting your distance control correct. If you can land it in the right spot, you're not going to hit it that far offline.
But once again, the landing area no bigger than a nice dining room table.
Exactly.
And the Pac12 conference doing a wonderful job with crowd control here. We've got a very good look at this long putt by Max Rodliff, putting for birdie on 18. 1 over on the tournament, so having a very, very nice run at it. You mentioned the Mickelson name at Arizona State, Phil winning the NCAA individual title on 3 separate occasions.
Yeah, now his brother Tim has taken over the program. He's done a nice job in his second year, really trying to turn this program back into a powerhouse. ASU, when I was in school, was the best team there. They had Paul Casey, Matt Jones, a few other guys that are now tour stars. So he's trying to turn it around. He's doing a nice job of it.
Over to Michael Weaver of California at 3 under. Participant at the Masters, shot 72 and 76 there. Did not make the cut. Would have liked to have had a few more putts like that at Augusta, but I would venture maybe a little more difficult on those greens. But that was a very, very nice putt indeed. Second birdie on the inward 9. Kim looking at birdie on 16.
This Cal team is a great short game, great putting team all around. We'll see them make a few putts today, I'm sure.
Trevor Simsby misses that one right. Was Washington much of a factor? You graduated from UCLA in 2002. Are they sort of a new phenomenon to being right among the elite teams, not only in the conference but in the country?
Yeah, in the last 10 years, they've really stepped up their game. This year, they're ranked 4th, going into the regionals, 4th in the country. So their program has really come a long way. Matt Thurman is doing a great job over there at Washington and recruiting some great kids and really building a solid foundation there.
And doing it, quite frankly, in a cold weather climate. There's a lot of times up in Seattle where they're practicing indoors, so a real credit to what the Huskies have been doing over the last several years, currently ranked number 4 in the nation. That is really a nice putt. Anton Arboleda from UCLA rolling that in nicely. And there is Michael Weaver. We mentioned out of Clovis West High School, Fresno, California, played in the Masters. And if I'm not mistaken, because of his runner-up in the USAM, he's also going to play in the US Open. Quite an experience, quite a year. And right on cue, surprise, surprise, Weaver step into the tee on 15.
Beautiful tempo there with that golf swing. Let's see if he's got to judge the yardage correctly. I mean, he was really only about 2 yards away from where he really wanted to land it, and now he's going to have a really difficult chip down the hill.
Arboleda once again, just saw him roll in that very nice putt. Our coverage coming to you on 15, 16, 17, and 18, and 1 under so far for the tournament. That is a very solid outing so far. Arboleda, just 5'6", a freshman out of nearby La Cañada, a suburb near the Pasadena, not too far from the Rose Bowl, and that is a beautiful golf shot. Great control of the spin.
Yeah, really a fantastic shot. You can see the wind start picking up right as he was hitting it. This is getting better and better as we're talking. These greens are really fast, and he played that one really nicely. He'll still have a quick putt, but only about 5 feet.
Simsby from Washington also having a very solid outing. This very tricky little 80-odd yard golf hole now, and 2 spectacular shots. Michael Weaver, surprisingly, the biggest reputation among them. We get our first look, and he overcooked it a little bit. And that's not only a good shot, that's getting better by the second.
Yeah, that one will be a mere formality for a deuce there on 15.
Mentioned Michael Kim out of the University of California, just a sophomore from Del Mar. So playing an awful lot of golf at Torrey Pines, and you read his bio, the #1 ranked college golfer in the nation, just 19 years of age. Boy, there are so many good players in the United States and all over the world, and Kim certainly among them.
Kim was known as a short hitter coming into this year, and he's gained about 15 to 20 yards, and that's really propelled him from being a a mediocre, college player to being the #1 player in the country.
Kim, a solid tee shot on 17. A look once again at the leaderboard. Homa on top and feeling very comfortable. Back with more right after this. First look at Michael Weaver, and our second look has got him in some real trouble, not only stance-wise, but also what about this lie?
Boy, this looks really, really difficult. He's going the high route, trying to get it to stop really quickly, and it's a really, really fast shot down that hill. Best he could do is about 10 feet, and that's about where he is now.
Pretty good creativity, and still ended up at least he's below the hole, and not happy, you see, as he throws his towel down.
Yeah, the place to miss on this hole is pin high, short, or right. That will leave you an uphill putt or chip at this.
Simsby now in very, very tight.
Yeah, he's feeling so comfortable. He's just going to go ahead and knock this in for a 2 and let Michael Weaver take his time. It's actually, nice sportsmanship there to let Michael Weaver take his time, take a look at this putt, so that Michael isn't feeling rushed.
Arboleta of UCLA, you just saw him off to Weaver's right. He is also in very, very tight indeed. Weaver again participating in the Masters and will be going to the U.S. Open.
Yeah, he's used to these quick greens after playing at Augusta. These actually probably look pretty tame and flat compared to what he saw there.
And a very nice par save. Very nice indeed. Weaver got off to a good start. 65, 69 in the 36 holes on the first day, but then a 74 in the third round sort of knocked him out of the individual title chase. I'm not sure anybody could have caught Max Homa, who really held it together after that record-setting 61 in the opening round on this magnificent course. And that was not particularly an easy putt, sliding downhill by Arboleta. Back-to-back birdies on 14 and 15.
Yeah, he sure made that look easy. Those are nerves of a 22-year-old right there.
16, the approach for Hanky from California. And backing that up nicely. 16, again, a very, very long par 4, playing 505 potentially on the card. And again, the tee box is being moved around. Here's Jonathan Garrick from UCLA for birdie on 14.
Yeah, a good young player here for Derek Freeman. He's had a great Pac12 week this week, and looking to add to that total of 2 under and get it to 3 here. This putt will just break a little from right to left. He's probably licking his chops right now, thinking this putt's got to go down, get him in that hunt for maybe getting in second place, catching Michael Weaver.
Just ran out of gas a little bit. So that is a disappointing par for Jonathan Garrick of UCLA. And now our first look at Max Homa. Best score you ever shot in college or in a PGA round?
Best score I ever shot, actually in a tournament, 62. Outside of a tournament, 59.
And although LA Country Club was not your home course, Bel Air was when you were at UCLA. You played here a number of times. What was your reaction when you saw that somebody shot a course record 61 at these championships?
I was completely blown away. What a round of golf this was, especially to open up the championships. To shoot 61, no bogeys, newly redesigned course. Let's take a look at his scorecard here. Birdie on the first, obviously, you get off to a great start. Seems pretty ho-hum, going around. Birdie on 9 is a great birdie, and then comes to the back 9 and really lights it up there with birdies on 14, 15, 16, and 17. And that's a great way to finish, great way to come home.
And a look across at 14 here at the LA Country Club, just off of Wilshire Boulevard. A nice little roll once again by Chris Williams, the University of Washington, getting to 3 under. And we'll step aside. The final day of the Pac12 Men's Golf Championships, and everybody looking up at California. Par 3.
Nice looking swing. He's really trying to control the distance and control the spin.
Would you hit a cut here?
You know, that was a good point. He was aimed left, well left. I think he was trying to spin it a little bit. But yeah, it looked like the wind's going that way as well.
Now Williams says 133, but this hole is playing, as we talked about, Parker, under 85 yards.
Oof, that one is going to be rough. Hopefully that didn't plug in the bunker. But you know, short isn't the worst spot here. I think long is much tougher to get it up and down for a 3.
And here is Homa once again, and the head pro at LA Country Club was quoted in the Los Angeles Times and probably a lot of national newspapers saying it's the greatest round of golf he's ever seen because the course was playing really fast, the greens were super quick, and Max Homa came out and shot a 61 as we just showed you moments ago.
Yeah, I don't think anybody will dispute it. Might be one of the best college rounds of golf ever played, especially being that it was at LA Country Club, such a historic location.
That is a wonderful shot by Homa. You could see the open stance, and he clearly was playing a cut and trying to spin that and control the trajectory, and certainly his landing area very nicely. All of these young men probably have aspirations of doing what you did, and that was winning a PGA Tour event. Here's Michael Kim trying to get up and down.
Yeah, tough little shot there behind the green on 17. That'll leave him an uphill putt. Try to save his 4.
17, another long par 4 coming in, small green, and Figueiredo from UCLA, who struggled on 15. Remember when he missed that small green and hit it into the bunker and then missed his par putt coming back?
Yeah, he's really had a struggle this championship. He's one of UCLA's stalwarts, one of their best players, and to be 9 over at this point has really been a tough week for him. Beautiful shot there though out of the bunker.
Figueiredo is the senior from Portugal. He won the Western Collegiate, beating both Kim and Homa earlier on, and Joel Stalter, also from California. Was Cal this strong, currently ranked number 1, when you were at UCLA a decade ago?
I don't know.
No, Cal was a good team, but I don't think anybody has ever been this strong. To be honest with you, their last 26 events, they've won 16 of them, and they haven't finished outside the top 5. So. In any of those 26 events. So I don't think anybody in the history of college golf has ever been as strong as Cal is right now.
Kim for par, and that one just ran out of gas a little bit. You can see how quick these greens are, and all of these players being very careful. You saw that Kim +5, and we talked about Homa a lot, and why not? He broke all sorts of records with that 61. And he's going to be the individual champion unless something very strange happens here coming in. But there's a very important team component as well. All of these players out on the course, it's cumulative stroke scoring for UCLA, Cal, Washington, and all the rest. Yeah, everybody's been chasing Cal since the opening round.
Yeah, the format this week is they've got 6 players on each team, and you count your best 5 scores per day and add it up and see who's the champion at the end of the week. UCLA cut Cal's lead to 2 starting the day. But UCLA struggled, and Cal, as has been their MO all year, they've played great final rounds so far. Played really solid and hit to the middle of the greens, and now they're looking to close out this championship to defend their Pac-12 title.
And it certainly does help the team effort when you're talking about Homa leading the way at 9 under. That's pretty good for your cumulative score. As far as national rankings, Cal currently number 1, UCLA 3, Washington 4, and Stanford at number 8. Homa, with good reason, has taken a very good long look at this slippery 15-footer downhill.
Yeah, he just watched the ball roll about 5 feet by, and he's really taking a second look at this one here.
And then they just screamed us.
Just breathing on it.
Very hard to control a putt or keep it on line when you're hitting it that delicately, but he will have an easy tap in for par.
And that's what we were talking about earlier. About if you can put the ball on these greens, if you can put it underneath the hole so you can have an uphill putt, You can be aggressive, and then you can make some birdies like we saw Max do in the first round, where he made 9 birdies.
Easy tap in for Homa, getting his par on 15. And now to his teammate Joel Stalter. Long birdie try on the finishing hole. And buries that. That's a good way to finish. And Cal continues to roll as they move on towards the team championship. And he shoots his best round of the 4 and finishes with an even par 70 for the day. 7,200 yards plus at LA Country Club, and it's a par 70. Wind continuing to blow just a little bit. We were trying to clean things up.
Another good stroke there. Was 3 great putts in a row where he could have dropped 3 shots potentially, and makes all 3 of those putts and helps Cal keep the momentum.
Manav Shah, currently 11 over, for UCLA, also here on 18. Are players from your generation, now that you're so old, having graduated in 2002, players better, younger? Certainly they're better younger on the women's side. Are they better younger on the men's side?
Yeah, I believe they are. I think that you're right. The women's side, you definitely notice the difference, but on the men's side, they are. I mean, you see a lot of freshmen that are out contending and being great players.
Patrick Cantlay turning pro from UCLA after his sophomore year. Seems to be in Washington with a solid putt there. And Michael Kim, once again, his second on 18.
Yeah, this is a challenging second shot here. Yeah. Up the hill, got to stay in balance. Kind of loses it a little right there, it looks like. Yeah, that'll find the bunker, and that'll be a tough up and down for his par. Looks like the wind's picking up a little bit more, kind of aiding in that shot going a little further right.
Golfers are always looking at the equipment. I know he's looking to see whether he hit it off center or not. And Pond once again for Washington, his second on 18.
It's never our fault, Paul. It's always the equipment's fault.
Really? Can I start saying that?
Yes, yes. All golfers, we all blame the equipment.
Well, that is nicely done. Again, long finishing hole. And we saw a birdie made from pretty much the same spot moments ago. And Seng-Chung Pan from Taiwan staring that down. And the longer he looks, the better it gets.
Yeah, really a sensational shot there. This 18th hole is playing at 4.5 shots for the field. So if he can sneak out of there with a 4 or even a 3, he's gaining strokes on the field.
One-handed finish that time by Pedro Figueiredo. But he likes it, and with very good reason. What a magnificent golf shot. And a great way to finish on 18.
I wasn't sure if he hated that or loved it. He let go of it.
He loves it now.
That's right.
Here's a current individual leader, Max Homa. His second on 16. Long par 4.
This guy shot a 61 the first day.
Trying to loft this one way up high in the air to get it to stop quickly.
He's been playing pretty much.
And this par 4 has played over 500 yards at times during the course of these 4 rounds. You saw that he was holding at most a pitching wedge in his hand once again on this very long par 4.
Yeah, he was using a 52 degree there, only at 125 yards to the hole. So obviously playing a bit shorter today and a bit downwind. Here's Garrick out of the rough. He's also going to try to get this thing to stop really softly. He does a nice job, lands it just short of the front edge.
Yeah, it's a very, very good golf shot off a tough lie and hit it out of the thickish cabbage, if you will. The rough doesn't look like they really grew it up. And they're walking towards home in the final round of the Pac12 Men's Golf Championship. A perfect day in Los Angeles. This is for par.
Right?
And that's another beautiful save. Had a great save on 15 and comes right back with another par save on 17.
Well, that's 4 great putts in a row, starting on 14 with that birdie putt, and then 3 great par saves. That really keeps his team in this hunt for the Pac-12 title.
Washington has been pretty much out of it since the opening couple of days, but mentioned the national rankings. They're the 4th best team in the country. Stanford at number 8, Cal at number 1, UCLA at number 3. So So they will try to get their game together when they head back to Seattle and get ready for their regionals and then on to the NCAA. Mention the rankings, and there they are. And the Pac12 conference certainly very well represented. USC, Oregon, Arizona State, they've got some work to do. You live in Phoenix right now. You got to go over and work with, well, you're a Bruin. You can't go over and work with those guys. But you get my point.
It's fun to see the Pac-12 conference so strong. 5 out of the top 11 teams in the country is just phenomenal.
Brandon Hagee now for his approach on 18. 18 again, long dog leg left, working its way back up towards the clubhouse. A very fortuitous bounce there out of the rough.
Yeah, he'll be really pleased with that one. That could have a yard left, and that's in the bunker there.
Arboleta cleaning things up on 17, and a very nice round. Pretty clean on the front, all pars, and then 1 bogey against 3 birdies on the back as we catch up with Garrick. His second shot on the 17th.
Yeah, beautiful looking second shot here, framed by these great bunkers. Good looking swing. Went after that one pretty hard, trying to get some spin on it.
And you can see all the bunkering around the front of this hole. Not very wide there. This has got to be really precision golf, and going to end off just on the fringe, but I thought that was a pretty good golf shot.
Yeah, I mean, you watch, he landed it a yard onto the green, and it still went over the back edge. He's saying these guys made this course too firm and fast for me.
And then in college, you got to go pick up your own sticks.
It's the beauty of college golf. No caddies. You know, you're just out there with yourself and the golf course. And,
how much interaction with your coach during the course of a round?
well, the coach is going to be out there, and actually now the assistant coach is allowed to speak to you as well. So you've got 2 coaches out there. So once in a while you'll be able to talk to the coach. Sometimes they'll hang on the par 3s. Other times they'll be out walking around with you.
Homa setting up to play a cut. Oh, almost flew it right in the hole. A magnificent shot once again for your overall tournament leader. Max Homa, 6'2" senior out of Valencia, ranked 29th in the world as a junior, career high in almost every category. Again, a 61 if you're just joining us, the new course record here at LA Country Club in the opening round. Wintegren for UCLA, and look at a birdie on 18.
Seen this putt a few times today. Looks like it breaks a little left right at the end. Oh.
That is a beautiful effort, just burning off the fringe on the low side.
Again, par on this 18th hole is really solid. You're gaining about half a shot on the field, but UCLA needs to catch up a little bit more.
UCLA has some work to do, but so is everybody else as they've been looking up at California. Max Homa, again, that 61, 70 in the second round, 71 in the third, and again, a very solid final day. And that just on the low side, so Charlie Hughes of Washington on 18 coming back, and if he can tap in this 2-footer, he will have a final round of 72. Really great for all of these college players, and I think whether it be at the University of Washington, certainly you know what it's like at Arizona, Arizona State, just getting to play magnificent golf courses and wonderful practice facilities.
Yeah, it really is a treat. You know, they haven't been to this venue here at LA Country Club for 3 decades, and it really is a treat for these players to get to play this golf course and see the new redesign that LA Country Club is so boastful of, and rightfully so. It's one of the great courses in the world right now. Jonathan Garrick's got a really, really tricky putt here. Looks like it's going to work left in the beginning and then work back to his right as it works down towards the hole. Speed is really key, getting the speed correct. There it goes left.
Get it.
Comes back to the right. Beautiful putt. Really nicely judged.
In this team competition, everybody looking up at home, would you be a little more aggressive?
Yeah, if I'm chasing him down as an individual, I definitely want to be more aggressive. But you're also, in the back of your mind, you're thinking about the team and trying to not make too many big numbers. Being too aggressive for your team's sake.
Arboleta, once again, magnificent golf swing and the home hole.
Sophomore.
Yeah, you notice how he holds that finish really nicely, swings within himself. Good looking golf shot there.
Yeah, he and Jonathan will be the top two guys next year.
Oh, now with a good look for birdie. That was a fantastic golf shot he hit. We've seen a lot of these balls today on this 17th hole land short of the pin and bound over the green. He did a nice job being able to keep this thing within 20 feet of the hole.
And the coach tending the flag now, having a very close look at his star pupil right now, or his star student athlete.
Yeah, Steve Desimone is very proud of his guys.
And buries that, a beautiful putt. You mentioned Steve Desimone, the head coach at California, in his 34th season, a national title in 2004. They T3'd last year when the championship was at Riviera, if I'm not mistaken. And looking for back-to-back Pac12 titles.
Good looking golf swing there from Michael Weaver on 18. Just a little short. Looks like he misjudged the wind a bit.
I was about to say.
Getting some conversation from one of his coaches as well. And there is the story, University of California. And Max Homa now at 10 under with one hole to play.
We were supposed to. Flight was at 8:15. We were supposed to be in the air, but we got delayed until 9 and then taxed until like 9:45.
Max Homa and the California Golden Bears walking proudly in Los Angeles, well on their way to individual and team championship honors, and on their way to the NCAAs. Homa 61 in the opening round, again a new course record, 70 in round 2, 71 in the third round, and stripes this right down the middle of 18. What have you seen so far in his golf game? Obviously he's very, very strong.
Yeah, boy, he just looks like he's got great tempo, and he's obviously just playing with a ton of confidence right now.
A 61 will do that to you.
Slow putt up the hill here for Weaver. Nicely judged. He'll have a little uphill or 2.5 footer to clean his par up.
That's a solid 4 rounds of golf, but under ordinary circumstances, Weaver would have been right in the mix for the individual championship. But again, that man, Max Homa, laying down that 61 to start things out, probably not only elevated his game and confidence, but knocked everybody else on their heels.
Yeah, that was quite the round of golf. Maybe one of the better rounds of golf in college history.
Garrett unloading. You saw on the card, 498-yard par 4. Little dog leg left. There's Century City, much of West Los Angeles. LA Country Club, if you're not familiar, stands about midway between the UCLA campus and Beverly Hills. My geography about right?
Exactly right.
Sitting for 4 hours.
Here's Trevor Simsby from Washington. Long par attempt. He's had a solid tournament. You saw it currently at 2 under overall.
Just misjudged the speed a little bit there. Looked like he was a little scared of it running away from him. He's got 12, 15 feet left for his par. And they've got 2 golf courses at LA Country Club. The South Course. They've actually talked about selling it for, real estate is so valuable. Right? They've thought about selling that just to do the North Course.
Here's Anton Arboleta. A look at birdie himself. This one obviously much easier than Simsby had to deal with. And he should easily clean that up for par.
UCLA's had some good looks here these last few holes. They just haven't really been able to convert, and we've seen Michael Weaver, especially on Cal, make 4 putts between the 5 and 15 feet, save par or make birdie, and as of right now, that looks like it's the difference between UCLA giving Cal more of a run for its money.
Washington currently in 3rd overall. They have been looking up at UCLA and at Cal throughout the course of this tournament since the opening 36 holes played on the first day. And Simsby playing number 2 for Washington. He is really important along with Chris Williams for their hopes. And that's a really nice putt. That for bogey, but still he comes in with a final round 68, so a solid tournament for Washington's Trevor Simsby.
They really are focusing way too much time on these guys.
Yeah.
Weaver looking to clean up here for par. Should be just straight uphill. Basically a formality for these young nerds.
Well, after the Masters, where every 18-inch putt is a real adventure, that was probably dead easy. The Cup probably looked twice its size. So
it's odd. Wait, he was on the
congratulations
Masters?
to California's Michael Weaver on another strong tournament, as Arboleta will look to
They're not even
clean up his par on 18 as well. Cal first overall, followed by UCLA, and then Washington, and that's just how they are in the national rankings, number 1, number 3, and number 4 respectively. And there it is for Arboleta. And one thing we should point out, unlike on the PGA Tour, players are allowed to use a distance aid, if you will. There you see the scorecard for Max Homa. That's 61. I would imagine that that's been photographed. It's up online. That was really a remarkable round.
Yeah, it really is, especially at such a unique place and a golf course like LA Country Club.
Because this is their home court.
If you shoot 61 at your local course, that's great and it's fine. But to shoot 61 at a place like LA Country Club, really, it makes headlines because it's everyone knows LA Country Club.
Second shot for Chris Williams, just mentioned. He's playing number 1 for University of Washington. Back-to-back 68s on the opening day, and then 2 over in the 3rd round. Williams, a senior out of Moscow, Idaho, a 2-time All-American, and was ranked the number 1 amateur in the country for a period of time, and that's a very solid shot to the middle of the green, about 18, 19, 20 feet.
Yeah, really nice swing there. Control the trajectory, and we'll look here at Max Homa. He's got an 8-iron, about 164. Great drive off this tee.
Hole playing a total of 498 from the back.
Look at how steady his head stayed on that swing. He didn't like it, but good solid golf swing there from Max Homa.
We've been seeing him play a lot of cuts, and that one got away from him just a little bit, and he left it in the bunker to the right. One of the few, and I do mean very few, this is his 72nd hole so far of the championship, and one of the few mistakes he's made.
Nice move there from Jonathan Garrick. He's got just choked down on a 7-iron, and he left that one out to the right as well.
So both Homa and Jonathan Garrett of the Bruins in the bunker on 18. They're seeing some magnificent golf swings, an awful lot of work as youngsters and as juniors, and now as college players going in to playing championship level golf in the NCAAs. Max Homa, a couple of more shots to play, and then he'll be the champion.
I started 99% of my conversations with, hello, my name is
Playing host to the Pac12 Men's Golf Championships with former UCLA star and PGA winner Parker McLaughlin on Paul Sunderland. And here is the Bruins' Garrick out of the greenside bunker. That is a very, very good golf shot. He did not have much green to work with.
Yeah, that's not the right spot to be on with this whole location. You don't want to be short-sighted here, and especially with how firm and fast these greens are. You're bound to leave yourself with 10 to 12 feet on for a par putt.
Now, a place where Max Homa has not been much throughout the course of this 4-round, 3-day tournament. Again, 36 holes played on the first day.
Yeah, he's in the same spot Garrick was in, and may even be a more difficult shot.
You got a 6-stroke lead for the individual championship, but you still want to finish in style.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be nice to be the only one in double digits, and you know, it always feels better to make a par on the last hole rather than making a bogey and having that sour taste in your mouth finishing an event.
Well, a lot of sweetness for Homa. 61, 70, 71.
But
And
No.
he will have
Other
that
than that, he's
14-footer
only
coming back to
under.
close out his 72-hole Pac-12 championship performance. He'll have that for par. The assistant coach steps in and rakes the trap. I never had an assistant.
On the sole.
Of course, I didn't play golf in college, but
I mean, except for the
Be
61.
I
nice.
like it. I like the atmosphere. I like this.
It'd be nice if they could do your homework
Now
for you
we
and write
closer,
your
you try
essays as
61.
well.
No, we can't have that.
No, not at all. These guys burn the candle at both ends. Obviously, being great student athletes, you know, you've got to put the time in on the golf course, and you've also got to put the time in the classroom. And a lot of these golfers really excel in the classroom as well as their performance on the golf course.
So Chris Williams, #1 player for the University of Washington, stepping in, and his head coach coming over, and not only can you have contact with the player, you can actually help them read greens. Interesting. I think that's just fine with me.
Yeah, many of these coaches will sit on the par threes and to be able to tell the players, hey, your teammate just hit 5-iron here.
Mm-hmm.
You might want to hit 4-iron, or you might want to hit 6-iron.
How about walkie-talkies like you see in the President's Cup and the Ryder Cup?
Yeah, I believe they can chat with each other. What a great putt
Beautiful
there.
putt. That is a very nice way to finish for the Washington Huskies' #1
He's a
player,
player.
Chris Williams.
Freshman.
Back-to-back 68s, 72 in the third round, and closes out with an even par. Very nice to finish with birdie after the bogeys on 15 and 17.
Yeah, I don't know if they're allowed to have walkie-talkies out there, but they are allowed to communicate. You know, the head coach and the assistant coach are out there with the 5 or 6 players in this tournament's case, and they're out there. They're helping them, you know, pick the read the greens, pick the right club, trying to give them some course management while they're out there. So they act as a caddy, and it's nice. You know, and then, as we saw, they sometimes will rake the bunker for you if you're in some trouble.
Well, you're looking at a big putt, and so Max Homa was looking at a very, very interesting 16, 17-footer for par to close out his 72-hole effort. And as you said, wants to stay in double figures. He has been in control of this championship since the opening day. Got a chance, and he just left it on the high side. That's a good effort.
Yeah, so he ends up even for the tournament.
So after no bogeys and 9 birdies in round 1, a rare bogey for Max Homa, he will mark and clean that up momentarily. And here is Jonathan Garrick for par on 18.
For Max, though, it really is nice to have 5 putts there to win the championship from less than 2 feet. That's always a nice way to close out a championship.
Garrick, part of the future for UCLA, just a freshman out of Atherton, California, has had a nice tournament. Oh, that one just rolls past the edge. You can see how fast that was.
Well, it looked like a great putt. He thought he made it, and unfortunately just caught the top edge.
Garrick was 3 under after the first 3 rounds, so he'll have that to close out his championship. So Homa and Garrick both looking at bogey putts as they close out the competition.
Just a formality here, but he's going to be excited to tap this in and hopefully win this championship.
That is a wonderful effort over the course of 3 wonderful days for Max Homa and the California Golden Bears, and that's really good sportsmanship. Not only the California Golden Bears and their fans recognizing his effort, the record-setting opening round 61, and congratulations from Chris Williams. Chris Williams from the University of Washington, and there is your individual champion, and he was just far and away the best player on this 3-day competition at the Los Angeles Country Club. 61, 70, 71, 69, and the celebration is on. Max Homa, the 6'2" senior from Valencia, about 35-40 miles from where this tournament is taking place. Just
I'm sorry, no,
there is Mom. A lot of sacrifice for the parents, a lot of driving to tournaments, and that is a great payoff. What a week for the California Golden Bears. Congratulations to Steve DeSimone in his 34th season. They win the Pac-12 championship. So the California Golden Bears win the championship once again, and the story at the top of the leaderboard. Two Bears, Max Homa and Michael Weaver. Back to wrap it up right after
How
this.
they finished? Cal, UCLA, Washington.
When the second-ranked
Yeah,
Oregon
Cal's
Ducks and the
just been so
seventh-ranked
good this year.
Stanford Cardinal clashed in
Yeah, we had,
October, both were undefeated in
we
conference
only
play.
two-stroke stat going
Stanford
into the
started
final
hot
round,
in the first frame, but the Ducks found their stride to capture the second and third
Their guys just
sets.
all
The
play well
Cardinal
and,
found some momentum in the
and-
fourth and forced a fifth set, where the Ducks
Once again in the Pac-12 Men's Golf Championship, Max Homa, the winner by 5 strokes over his teammate Michael Weaver, who competed in the Masters. But this week was all about California and Homa.
It's just perfect timing. I'm sure I've been grumpy about seconds all year, but it's all worth it if I can win this one. So yeah, it's great timing for the team as well, just to go into regionals and nationals with a win here. But it just feels very validating.
Max Homa led the way along with Michael Weaver, but California certainly the top team in the Pac-12 conference this year, as they will go into the NCAA's ranked #1. A word with their head coach.
To know that we've defended the conference championship in the best conference in the country. This is the best damn team on the planet. And what more can I tell you? It's a sweet feeling, yes.
Sweet indeed, LA Country Club, a wonderful host. Your thoughts, Parker? Obviously, the bar has been raised a little bit. Expectations going to be very high for California.
Yeah, this Cal team has its sights set for winning this national championship, and I think they're going to stop at nothing less.
Regionals next week.
So the California Golden Bears, they win the championship once again, and how things have changed over the last 30 years. For Parker McLaughlin, I'm Paul Sunderland. Thanks so much for watching on the Pac-12
And I
Network.
don't know how many teams go on, but, you know, hopefully go on.